15 years ago, when I was barely a teenager, my family lived in a town that hadn't quite caught up with the rest of the world. Factories sprawled out on the edges, empty lots stretched for blocks, and at night, the side streets felt like they belonged to someone or something else. That night, it was just me, my mom, and my little brother, his feet barely reaching the floor behind me. My mom always took the back roads home, said the highway was too busy, too unpredictable after dark. My mother, Amina, was the kind of woman who'd bring soup to a neighbor, but never, ever stopped for strangers on the side of the road, especially with us in the car. She always said, "If someone needs help, I'll call the police, but I'm not taking any chances." We passed the skeleton of a new Walmart, nothing but steel beams and dirt. The streetlights faded out, and the world outside our windows turned black. Just the hum of the engine and the occasional flicker of our headlights bouncing off empty lots. We were maybe 10 minutes from home when we saw it. A car pulled over to the side, hood up, hazard lights blinking, all alone in the dark. Amina slowed the car, careful, squinting through the windshield. She always worried about someone stepping out too fast, not seeing us. I leaned forward, trying to make out any movement. That's when a figure stepped out from behind the open hood, waving both arms right in the middle of the road. I couldn't see his face, just the shape, the way he moved, almost desperate. Amina gripped the wheel, jaw tight. She swerved around the stranger, not slowing any more than she had to. I caught a glimpse of the empty front seat as we passed. No one else in the car, just him. "Nadia, find my phone. It's in my purse on the floor. Quickly." My little brother Sammy fumbled in the dark, his small hands digging through receipts and candy wrappers. I could hear the panic in his breathing, the way his voice trembled as he said he couldn't find it. Amina kept glancing into the rearview mirror, her knuckles white on the steering wheel. I noticed the color drain from her face, her lips pressed tight. Something was wrong, more than just a stranded driver. Without warning, she slammed her foot down. The car lurched forward, engine roaring louder than I'd ever heard it. My mom never sped, not even when we were late. That's when I knew this was real fear. "He's following us." My heart hammered in my chest. I twisted in my seat to look out the back window, and sure enough, headlights weaving through the dark, gaining on us. My brother started to cry, the sound small and sharp in the silence. Amina took a sudden left, the tires squealing as we veered onto the main highway. The road was empty, no cars, no lights, just us and whoever was behind. I finally managed to stammer out, "Where are we going?" My voice sounded thin, almost swallowed up by the engine noise. "Police station. We're not stopping until we get there." The car behind us sped up, weaving between the few parked trucks and abandoned vehicles on the shoulder. I could see it now, an old sedan, paint chipped, headlights flickering. It kept trying to pull up alongside us, but Amina kept her foot down, eyes never leaving the mirror. Sammy was sobbing now, clutching my arm. I tried to comfort him, but my own hands were shaking. The car felt too small, like the darkness outside was pressing in on all sides. The glow of the police station finally appeared ahead, blue and white lights flickering in the distance. Amina's voice was tight, urgent. She told me to be ready, to grab Sammy and run as soon as she stopped the car. She barely waited for the car to stop before shoving it into park. I flung open my door, half pulling Sammy out behind me. The cold night air hit my face, sharp and electric. We ran, the three of us, across the lot and into the station's harsh fluorescent light. My legs felt numb, but I didn't stop until we were inside, breathless and shaking. Inside, the world was too bright, too clean. The officer at the front desk looked up, startled by our entrance. Amina's voice shook as she tried to explain, words tumbling out in a rush. There was a man, his car, he tried to flag us down, then he chased us. He's still out there.
Can you describe the car? Did you see his face?
Amina tried, voice shaking. Old sedan, dark color, maybe navy or black. She hadn't seen the plates. The man, she couldn't describe him, not really. It all happened too fast.
We'll send someone out. You did the right thing coming here.
We sat in the lobby, the three of us, under the harsh lights. Sammy's breathing slowed, but I couldn't stop glancing at the glass doors, half expecting to see headlights flash in the lot.
We checked the area. The car's gone. If you remember anything else, let us know.
We left the station together, the night colder than before. The drive home was silent, every shadow on the roadside a threat. I never found out who that man was, or what he wanted. The police never called us back. Sometimes when I drive those same roads at night, I catch myself checking the mirrors, half expecting to see those headlights again. I don't know what would have happened if we'd stopped, and I don't want to. Some roads are better left in the past, with their shadows and their empty promises of help.
It was one of those nights where the heat felt like it was pressing down on your chest, even after midnight. I remember the temperature, still hovering around 100 degrees. We were just north of the border, out past the last gas station, where the road hugs the edge of town and everything else is just scrub and stone. My wife Rosa was half asleep in the passenger seat, her head against the window. The radio was on, but it kept cutting out. Static, then nothing. I finally just switched it off. The silence made the night feel even heavier. We'd driven this stretch almost every day. There's a wall on the right, tall and sun-bleached, and to the left, just an open field with boulders scattered like dice. I could drive it in my sleep, and maybe that's what made what happened next so strange. I caught a glimpse of something in the gutter just before the next streetlight. A shape, face down, right up against the curb. Blue shirt, jeans, brown shoes. The kind of thing your eyes slide right past until your brain catches up.
Aiden, stop the car. Did you see that? There's someone there. We have to check if he's okay.
I slowed down, heart hammering. Something about the way he was lying there, it didn't look right. I told Rosa to stay in the car. I can't explain it, but every nerve in my body was screaming at me to keep my distance.
Okay, I'll stay here. But can you see if he's breathing? Just be careful.
I leaned forward, squinting through the windshield. The man's back rose and fell, so yeah, he was breathing. But there wasn't any blood, and his shirt was way too clean for someone who'd just been hit or fallen. That's when I noticed the rocks. Some of the boulders from the field had been dragged right up near the road. Fresh dirt streaked the pavement, like they'd just been moved tonight. I'd never seen them that close before. On the far side of the rocks, just out of reach of the headlights, there was this bluish light. Not bright, more like the glow from an old cell phone screen. It flicked off the second I looked at it. My skin crawled. I could hear my own pulse loud in my ears. I kept thinking, why would someone move those rocks? Why was that guy lying so still, so clean, right where a car would have to stop to help him?
Aiden, do you feel weird? Like someone's watching us?
Yeah, we need to go. Now. I slammed my foot down, and the car lurched forward, tires squealing. I didn't look back, not at first, but Rosa twisted around in her seat, eyes wide. In the rearview mirror, I saw them. 5 men, all shapes and sizes, scrambling out from behind the boulders. They'd been crouched there, hidden, waiting. They started running at the car, then stopped when we sped away.
Oh my God, they were hiding. They were hiding, Aiden. Did you see them? They were going to...
One of them bent down and helped the guy in the gutter to his feet. They all just stood there, watching us retreat, like they were memorizing our faces, our license plate, everything. We didn't say a word until we pulled into my parents' driveway. I called the police, hands shaking, tried to explain what happened. They told me basically, to forget about it. Said there was nothing they could do unless someone was hurt.
They just brushed it off. What if someone else stops for them? What if...
A few days later, we heard it on the news. There'd been an attack, late at night. Location not disclosed, but the details matched. Someone pulled over to help a man lying in the road. The man and his friends jumped them. The victim got away, but...
That could have been us. If we'd gotten out of the car,
I think about that night more than I'd like to admit. About how quickly things can turn. How a familiar road can twist into something you don't recognize. Sometimes, I wonder if we only noticed because the radio was off, because the night was too quiet, or maybe we were just lucky. Even now, I can still see those men, just shapes behind the rocks, waiting for someone to stop. I don't drive that road at night anymore, and if I ever have to, I keep the windows up, the doors locked, and the radio off, just in case I need to listen for something hiding in the dark.
It was almost a decade ago now, but I still remember that night, how the air smelled like wet leaves, and the way my hands trembled on the steering wheel. I was 19, barely a freshman, and the world felt bigger than I could handle. I'd fallen asleep at my boyfriend's place watching some old VHS tape. When I woke up, it was past 3 in the morning. I didn't want to wake anyone, so I slipped out quietly and started the drive home. He lived a couple towns over, and I always took the back roads to avoid traffic. That night, though, everything felt emptier. I only knew the main route, but the shortcut through Willow Park was supposed to save me time. I remember glancing at the clock, 3:12. The park entrance was barely lit, just a flickering bulb over an old sign. No other cars, no houses in sight. Only the sound of my own engine, humming too loud in the silence. The shortcut cut right through Willow Park, a place I'd only ever seen during the day. Now the trees pressed in from both sides, their branches clawing at the sky. My headlights barely made a dent in the darkness. That's when I saw it, a gold sedan, stopped right in the middle of the road. Not parked, not pulled over, just blocking the way, like it had been abandoned or left there on purpose. It was angled so weirdly that no matter which way you came from, you'd have to squeeze around it. I slowed down, squinting, trying to see if anyone was in the driver's seat. But the windows were dark, and there wasn't a single light on inside. I started to inch forward, checking for headlights from the other direction. I thought maybe someone had broken down or... I don't know. But before I could do anything, someone ran out from the front of the car. He was tall, much taller than me, and I'm not exactly hard to tower over. I froze, my foot hovering over the brake. He started waving his arms, trying to get my attention. Not frantic, not scared, just insistent. I'm small, barely 5 feet, maybe 100 pounds back then. Alone, at 3 a.m, with nowhere to run. My stomach twisted. Something about the way he moved made every instinct in me scream, no. I slammed my thumb down on the lock. That click sounded so loud in the quiet. He stepped closer, right up to the hood, blocking my way forward. I could see his face now, but it was blank. Not angry, not desperate. Just waiting.
Hey, can you help me? I need to use your phone, please.
He leaned in, pressing his hand to my window. I could read his lips, even though the glass muffled his voice. He wanted my phone, said he needed to call someone. I shook my head, my voice barely a whisper. I'm sorry. I can't.
Please, just let me use your phone. It's an emergency.
I said no again. I didn't care if I sounded rude or if I had to run his foot over. I just wanted out. My heart hammered so hard I thought I might faint. I edged my car forward, inch by inch, until he finally stepped aside. I had to swerve into the oncoming lane, praying no one else was coming. In the rear view, I saw him just standing there, staring after me. My brake lights caught his face, twisted now, angry. I didn't look back again. I just kept driving, hands shaking so badly I could barely grip the wheel. As I pulled back into the right lane, my headlights swept over the bushes beside the road. And that's when I saw them. 3 more men, climbing out from the shadows, all dressed in black shirts and jeans, all staring right at me. I floored it. Tires squealing, engine roaring, I flew up the road, desperate to put as much distance as I could between me and whatever was about to happen back there. My hands were shaking so hard I almost missed the turn for the parkway. I kept glancing in the mirror, half expecting those men to come running after me, or for headlights to appear behind me. But there was nothing, just the empty night. I pulled off at the next gas station, hands still trembling. I found a payphone outside, jammed a quarter in, and called the police. My voice shook as I tried to explain what happened, where I was, what I saw. They kept transferring me, county, highway patrol, back and forth. Nobody seemed to know whose problem it was. I was so frustrated I almost hung up. But finally, someone agreed to send a car out to check. I asked the officer if he could call me back just to let me know if they found anyone. I drove that way a lot, and the thought of those men still out there made my skin crawl.
By the time we got there, the car and those men were gone. But another woman called, not even 5 minutes after you. Same spot, same story. I'd stay away from that park at night, ma'am. It's not safe. Not lately.
I thanked him and hung up. I didn't know that shortcut was dangerous. I'd never take that exit at night again, not after what I saw. When I told my parents, my mom started to cry. My dad was furious at the world, at the idea that something like this could happen. But they both hugged me, said they were proud I didn't stop, that I trusted my gut. After that, we made a new rule. Anytime one of us was heading home late, we had to call or leave a note. Just so someone knew where we were, in case. I still drive past Willow Park sometimes. In the daylight, it looks ordinary, just a patch of trees and an old playground. But at night, when the streetlights flicker and the shadows stretch long, I remember those faces in the dark. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if I'd rolled down the window, or if I'd stopped, just for a second longer. I guess I'll never know. But I still lock my doors now, every time I drive at night. So to the men waiting in the dark that night, Let's never meet again.